Hi everyone, it's Em from My Life Planned. Thanks for joining me today. My Laurel Denise affiliate order was just delivered and I happen to have the day off today, so it's the perfect time to film a bit of an unboxing and talk about my thoughts about the planners and accessories that I ordered and maybe some potential uses for these planners for next year, because if you've heard anything that I've said about 2026 plans, I'm really not sure what's happening yet, but I do have a few ideas. My first instinct when I unpacked the box was, oh my gosh, did I order wrong? Because there are 3 small boxes and I only ordered 1 small planner, but I think there must be accessories in the small boxes. The first thing that I want to mention is just, if you don't know about Laurel Denise, their packaging is second to none. Look at the designs on this box. I keep the boxes all the time. I store my planners in them or other things. And one of the things that I really appreciate is that when you order inserts and your planners, they pack the inserts inside the box so they don't get damaged. And to me, that's a really thoughtful part of the packaging process. Look at this inside of the box, and there is always this looks yuck, but it helps protect your planner, and then a really cute little card and the most beautiful tissue paper that is so great for wrapping gifts. Okay, I think we should do the newest product first, which is the small Scout planner. So the Scout used to be called the Portrait Planner when it was released, but Laurel and her team have recently renamed all of their planners, which was quite the drama in the Laurel Denise Facebook group. But I think they've released so many new models over the last 18 months or so, and I believe that there may be more to come. So calling a planner a vertical or a horizontal or a monthly planner isn't really enough, because there might be multiple vertical planners, so they need some unique names. I don't think they've explained what the system actually is. Seems like they're all named after people, but I'm not sure that we know who the people are. The other great thing about the packaging is that the planners always come in a bubble wrap container, so I have never really seen or heard of anyone receiving a damaged planner. The other thing to note is that this is the first time Laurel and her team have done a themed release with the names of their planners. It is a Pride and Prejudice theme, so all of the covers are named after kind of people, events, places in the Pride and Prejudice film. I think they were inspired by the one with Keira Knightley and Tom from Succession, prior to Succession, obviously. So this size is new for 2026. It is the Scout planner in the small size, and the cover design is called Pemberley Gardens. It's a beautiful green background with some navy and some kind of maroony brown accents with the pink, and it's the same on the back. I say it all the time, I really miss having the Laurel Denise nameplate on the front of the planner. I think it was always such a nice subtle touch, but it's moved to the back now. And the inside is this lovely design as well. You always get 2 bookmarks with your Laurel Denise planner. I won't go through all of these in all of the planners. One with a scalloped edge, one with a normal straight edge, and they both say, well, one says you are here and the other says you are also here. I wish that one of them was longer or had a different kind of tab position so that they didn't lay behind each other if you're using them as page markers for pages that are close together in your planner, but no big deal. I lost some of my footage from filming, so I'm back on another day. So we have our welcome pages, our nameplate page. On the 2026 calendar page, we've got our monthly calendars. I do really like that down the left of the page, the public holidays are listed, because as an international user of a planner from an American company, a lot of these dates aren't relevant. Even our Mother's Day and our Father's Day fall at different times in the year. So I prefer having them listed here rather than in these pages. And down the right, it's nice that there's a list as well where you can add your own dates. Once you open to the start of the month, your calendar view for the month comes into view. You've got space for notes or lists here. You have 4 habit tracking sections, and then you have your 4 monthly boxes. This note section at the bottom is dot grid, and then it's a Dutch door layout. So you turn the page and all of your weeks fall to the bottom. The best part about this layout for me is that all of the days fall under where they fall weekly in the month, so you can really see a lot of your reoccurring tasks and activities and patterns as well. Each week also starts with a to do this week section, and in the sticky note sets there are sticky notes that fit perfectly in here as well. When you get to the end of the month, you've got 2 dot grid sections. This section is really nice to do a Kanban board. That's what I do in my large Scout planner, which I use for my budgeting, and then all of the months continue. The end of each planner will now have a yearly plan. It looks a bit different in some of the other planners, so we'll have a look through them. I do wish that the days of the week were able to be incorporated in here somehow, but it's a great addition. It used to be available in an insert pack. And then we have some checklist pages, the graph grid, and the dot grid. And then at the end they have kind of their yearly summary page and your back pocket. I'm not sure if I'll be using this planner, but because it's new, I really wanted to check it out. I use the large size Scout to track all of my expenses at the moment, and that's working really well. There's space in the weekly pages. There's this column here, and that's where I kind of put my weekly summary at the end of each week. This is the cover from the entire collection that I was most excited about. It's called The Bennett Sisters, and it is beautiful shades of burgundy, light blue, some gold, as in yellow, not metallic gold, and greens. It is stunning. The amount of work that Nancy has put into designing these patterns is insane. Let's have a look at the comparison size-wise before we get into the inside. So this is a pretty large planner. All of the dimensions are on the Laurel Denise site, but it feels massive in comparison to this small one, but for me it's still a really usable size. The layout on the inside of the planner is the same as the small size. Here is a look at some up close detail of the patterns on the inside of the planner. Again, these rulers I actually find they come well attached, but they're a little bit difficult to attach the spiral coil compared to their other planners. Again, same inside pages. I'm glad that this year this is on either side, because to be honest, I'll probably tear this out. I like opening up my planner and seeing this front page. So everything is the same. I don't think we need a really detailed walkthrough, but you can see there's a lot more real estate on the pages. So you've got your weeklies. At the moment, I'm using the undated. So even though it can be quite therapeutic to date all of your pages, I'm definitely looking forward to having a dated planner again for 2027. So we can see that yearly overview page for the large size. There's like a lot of space that you can use this for however you want to map out your year, and the checklist pages. There are 14 spots at the top. I always find it odd when it's not 12, as in, you know, you can use it once per month, but I guess maybe they're also used for a fortnightly cycle. I think I may have said that somewhere before. And the same notes pages. And this is the back of the Bennett Sisters with that metallic gold nameplate. If we also compare the inside pages of the small and the large Scout, you can get a bit of an idea for the difference in terms of real estate of the paper. Obviously, the layout is exactly the same. It's just at different scales. Okay, I take that back slightly. There is one more line on the habit tracking section in the large. So 5 items to track on the large compared to 4 in the small. Okay, this next planner, it is the large size, and this is the Nancy, previously known as the horizontal, and the design is Lizzie's Stroll. So from a distance it might kind of look not so detailed, but look at all of the details on this cover. I'm not sure if you can see, yes, we have like the grey coloured leaves, but there are also navy ones as well. So it is a stunner. the inside, it's difficult to film these layouts. I film on my phone, but I'm not going to be able to fit the whole spread in view. These inside pages honestly are not my favorite. It's probably just a bit too much of that light blue for me, but I know it's beautiful. It's just, you know, not my favorite, which is fine. We can't love everything. So we've got our initial pages. We get into the place where we write our name. We go into our pages to set us up for the year. I'm terrible at using these pages. This is the traditional layout from Laurel Denise. You have the monthly calendar on the left, and then you have the weekly pages in the middle. The Nancy is horizontal, so you have 2 columns for each day and then a column for this week. If you wanted to, you can rule lines across to extend those daily pages if you didn't want to use this for a running list for your week. That continues, and then you get to your habit tracking page and then your notes page. So your notes page has dot grid up until here, and then you have plain white paper that says to do this month. The beauty of this planner is really that you see your month and your week and your day in the week all in the one view, and that's what is really unique about Laurel Denise. Another thing I really like about the layout is you can use this for so many different things, but if you've got some notes or lists that are perhaps a bit private, you can put them here and they're always covered by your week. So this layout continues month on month, and when you get to the note sections, oh, this is a new addition. It is cute, a little reminder to order your planner for next year. Such a clever addition to your planner. Then in your note section, you have your 2027 calendar. You have the same notes pages as we saw in the Scout, but obviously it's just laid out different. So again, I do wish that there was a way to include what the days are, so I might find a way to do that. This was traditionally found in the project planner, which is now called the Rose Planner, and I think I have a better understanding now of why it's not called the project planner anymore. But again, it has the same checklist pages. They just look a little bit different because of the alignment of the pages. And then again, we have the graph grid and the dot grid pages, and then your back pockets and your yearly kind of summary page. Again, the nameplate at the back. The last planner that I purchased is the Rose, and the colour is Mr. Darcy's Study. It can be hard to capture the colour, but it's a real dark burgundy wine shade. There are less pages in the Rose, so the coil is a little bit smaller. I actually wish that it was the same size because I'm planning on adding a lot of inserts into it this year. Well, next year. Let's have a look at the inside. This is a solid colour. So the burgundy continues on the inside, which I love. My Rose for this year is also a solid colour. The 2 bookmarks again, your introduction page, your name page, same calendar pages, but this is where the layout is really different. So the Rose has a really large monthly calendar. All of the planners are available in a Sunday start or a Monday start. I am squarely a Monday start person through and through. And then you have your 4 columns. This planner was originally called the Project Planner. Then it was called the 4-column planner. You can see why. And now it is called the Rose. The habit trackers are built in to the Rose, and there are so many different uses. Each month you might allocate 1 per week. I am aware that there are some months that have 5 weeks, or I usually do 1 column for different lists, like a personal list, a home list. I do have a video about how I'm currently using this for my 12-week year goals. So I'm using 1 column per week. I will have an update. Week 1 was great. Week 2, not so good. I'm trying to pick myself back up now that I'm in week 3, and that's it. There are no kind of Dutch door or overhanging inserts. You turn the page from month to month. Heading into the notes pages, this is where I am honestly a little disappointed about the changes to the note sections of the planners. It's the same as the ones in the Nancy and the Scout and all of the planners. They're the same. However, when it was the project planner, it had some really unique pages at the back that I will show you now. So the current Rose planner has these project planner pages, which are so great. They span the whole month and they are available in inserts, so I understand, but I really liked the point of difference that there was in this Rose planner that isn't there anymore. There also used to be these project breakdown pages and these checklists, but now they're standard in all the planners. So if you are looking in any 2025 or earlier Rose/project planners, just be mindful that when you see the videos showing the back pages, these are not in the planner anymore. There has been a slight reduction in price by I think about $5 to, I guess, counter some of those pages that are missing, but just keep it in mind. Just a reminder though, all of those project pages are available as inserts. So it's not as if, you know, they don't exist anymore. I just loved that they were part of this planner. Let's get into inserts and accessories. These inserts are new. They are called the appointment inserts. I'll take them out of the packaging off camera. There are 12 pages of these appointment inserts in each pack, and they are double-sided. So that means there are 24 weeks worth of inserts. And you'll see on the side that they are laminated and there are little slits in them, so it's really easy to put them into your planner. These appointment inserts are the reason why I didn't order an Anne planner for next year. So this is the 2025 Anne. It's in November, so it hasn't happened yet. You'll see these inserts are really similar to the weekly pages. Let's compare the weekly vertical of the Anne to these inserts. So you can see that the column width is just a little more narrow on the insert. The insert has 7 columns going across, 1 for each day of the week. It does not have this to do this week column, which is fine for me because I plan on using it in the Rose, which has the 4 columns, so I won't need this. And if you are purely using it for time blocking, which is I think why they designed it, obviously it has more lines. So there are 35 lines going down, which gives you lots of space to either do half-hourly time blocking, or if you do hourly time blocking, you'll have a lot of room to use this space for notes as well. So we're back with the Nancy, the horizontal. So it is very easy to pop these in. Would be a good ASMR if I was more patient. So if you are going to use this in conjunction with the horizontal, with the Nancy, you would have your monthly spread, you would have all of your room for your weeklies and your weekly list, and you could have time blocking for each week. So it is pretty much the ultimate, and it would be up to you if you placed it after the current week, or it's so easy to take them out, or if you placed it here, more in that monthly notes section. So if you placed it in the monthly notes section, you would have it here, turn the page, and then have room for all of your monthly notes. Some people might see it as being an issue when you are in your week and you are wanting to use the underside of this page. So look, it would be fine to turn the page, or perhaps just have it out, or maybe for that week, imagine that we're using the week after this. Excuse the shaking camera. Bear with me, I haven't tried this out, so we are experimenting on the spot. So perhaps if this is the week that you are using for those alternative weeks, you could have your time blocking on the left of the week. It does cover up your calendar that way. So for using the underside, as I said, they might not be the perfect for you, but I mean, the flexibility that you get with having monthly calendar, weeklies, time blocking, and notes all in the one section is great. I am a huge fan of the Laurel Denise inserts, so I am pretty much locked in for using this rose next year. I'm not sure if it will be for more 12-week year stuff or as a regular planner. And this is how I imagine using this for time blocking. So having my monthly calendar to the left, I love having the large boxes, then this weekly view for time blocking, and then I'll have my 4 columns, and there will definitely be more inserts that I use as well. This could really be the dream insert combination for the rose for next year. So monthly calendar, horizontal insert. I would probably only use this single-sided, so use this for 1 week and this for the next week. Weekly time blocking, then my 4 columns for all of my tasks. The time blocking / appointment inserts have been released for the large Scout planner as well. They look slightly different because they're just for that bottom section of the planner, but there will be inserts coming for the small Scout planner at some stage from Laurel Denise too. I also ordered these goal brain drop inserts for the Scout. So the front page has long-term goals, short-term goals, and quick wins. They are also available in landscape style planners as well. So there's a goal breakdown page that says my goal, my why, completion date, notes, research, encouragement, and inspiration. Tasks, so a brain drop of all of the tasks, my fears and lies I believe, so really those limiting beliefs and how to reframe them. There are now 5 of these goal breakdown sheets, which is a big upgrade. I think the original set of these only had 1, which is making me wish that I had bought more for my rose planner. And then this goal planning yearly overview page, and then a great yearly checklist page. I also picked up this new insert just because I was curious. It's a side hustle insert. I used to sometimes do tutoring and other things. I was curious. So you've got your kind of why and goals page, and then you've got, this would work as a double page spread if it was open on your planner. So ideas, launches, quick form content, long form content. So I guess how you're gonna set this up if it's your business, a social media marketing strategy, emails and special products. So I'm definitely not the target audience for this product because I don't have a small business. Thought having this spread with 6 months in one view and 6 months on the other could be cool if I covered these headings and maybe used it for something else. And then the back page is kind of a summary of all the good things, so good decisions and a record of general amazingness, which I love because I imagine if you are starting or running your own small business, it's probably pretty hard a lot of the time. Next up in the accessories is this elastic pen pouch in the design Essence of Love. Can you see why I ordered it? I mean, look at it with this Mr. Darcy's study. It is the perfect match, and that brown faux leather looks so good with the burgundy. This is a beautiful combination. Look at this cute packaging. This is the numbers 1 to 31 washi tape. I'll show you why I got it. In my Laurel Denise planners, I love to have a monthly graph tracking my sleep and often my mood and energy, which requires drawing out all of these numbers, which is no hassle. However, having this washi strip that will be able to do it for me is so exciting. And there are 3 rolls that come in the packet. it is going to make setting up my planner pages a breeze. I also picked up these star stickers because they're cute. I also grabbed the new sticky notes because I'd heard that some of the colours had been upgraded or changed a little bit, and I use my Laurel Denise sticky notes probably more than any others. The quality is so great and they don't leave that sticky, bally residue on your pages. But guys, why is the packaging the same on all of the sticky notes? This is the packaging for all of the other sticky notes that I have. Each one is unique and I'm just really not sure why they're all the same on the new ones. It seems odd. The new itty bitties are different, so it means that I will have, 4 different colours, but this was an interesting choice. All right, let's start with the itty bitties. I love these sticky notes. These are the old colourful ones. These are the new colourful ones. So you can see the pink is gone. The yellow is more of a pastel yellow. I think the old mustardy tones, I don't know if they're being phased out or just changing. And this bluey green is similar. So the new colour instead of the pink is an orange. Okay, now the neutral itty bitties. The left is the old, the yellow, the right with the yellow is the new. These ones are more similar, but I think they're just a little bit darker, this shade and this shade. So whereas the colours are quite different. Okay, this cover, the one that's kind of like the Pemberley Gardens, but in a different colourway. So this is the cover now for all of the new colourful sticky notes, whereas in the past they each had their unique design. So I will match them up and do a comparison of each. Okay, these are the ones for the portrait planners, which is interesting that the new ones say portrait planners, but they are now called the Scout. So the shapes are all the same, but the colours are different. So obviously each shape has changed colour, but not all of them. The changes that I really like, I like that there are now 2 different colours for these rather than all 6 of them being the same colour. That's a great addition. This orange is new. It's quite pastel, which I like. As I said before, the yellow is definitely different if we are comparing the old yellow and the new yellow. Very different. They're both nice. I'm happy with any coloured sticky notes, and these work really well. Let me know if you would like a separate video showing how all of these different sticky notes work in all of the planners. Okay, there's a bit of gardening happening outside, so apologies if you can hear the noise. This is the design that is meant for the small planners. I like having a bit of a change up from having all of those yellow ones, and I will miss this pink. I mean, I've still got all of these to use, but it's interesting that they didn't really change these ones. A new change is that the lines on the lined ones is much fainter compared to the originals as well. But again, it's nice to see just some fresh colours. Okay, we have old colourful for the large planners on the left and new colourful on the right. I think this is the first set so far where every shape is a different colour for this new edition, which again is nice. So the lines are fainter here again, and you can see some new colours. I really like this pink as well, different to the old pink, which was a really kind of clay pink, and the little itty bitties in this one are now a kind of orange colour. Love the green, love the blue, but I love this set as well. Okay, on to the neutrals. So this pale blue and yellow cover is new, and we have the old. It's really interesting that there were so many changes in the colours, not just the colours, but with the faintness of the lines. And with the neutral, I don't really think they've changed much at all. Perhaps these ones, these little ones may have. There's a tiny difference between them, but it's really marginal. So I think one of these sets will be going into work with me. The previous set I showed was the portrait planners / the scout planners. These ones are for the large planners, and I think these ones do have some subtle differences. So these ones at the bottom are slightly different. You can't tell. This one is a bit more of a cooler brown to me, and these ones look a little bit more pink than these yellow ones. But again, I don't think different enough to justify buying a second set. Hindsight and all that, you know. I'm pretty perplexed again because the last new set is for the small planners, and there are differences here. So you can see again, more chocolate, a bit more kind of orange toned, and the lined sticky notes are totally different colors. So yeah, I don't know what to say. It's interesting that some of them have changed a lot, some really haven't changed at all. Thanks for joining me today as I unboxed my Laurel Denise order and did some walkthroughs and some initial kind of chitty chats about everything that I got. I'm overall really excited about everything. Still a little iffy about some of those sticky notes, but they're one of my most used items, so it doesn't really matter. I am an affiliate. If you ever want to pop in an order with Laurel Denise, my code MyLifePlanned10 gives you a 10% discount. A big thanks to everybody who used my code during the launch. I really appreciate all of you. But again, I would never want anyone to feel pressured to use those codes. If you ordered anything from the Laurel Denise launch, let me know in the comments, and if you know what your use is for those planners, so what your plans will be. Again, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.